everybody. So unfortunately, Linda's computer would not allow her to do her live video for us for 11:11 video time, but we are going to get that straightened out and get her on the schedule for a reschedule. But I thought in the meantime, I would just come out and do a little weed walk with you guys out here in my yard. You'll probably see my family and my dog and stuff moving around in the background. But I'm out here on this first day of Aries season in the springtime. We're officially in the springtime now. And I wanted to introduce you to some plant friends of mine. So first, I'd like to introduce you to purple dead nettle, whose name in Greek means the devouring purple monster. This is purple dead nettle. You probably see it like everywhere in your yard, on roadsides, growing in sidewalks. It is part of the mint family, which you can tell by the square stem. I don't know if you can see that there, but most of our mint family plants have a square stem, which kind of gives them away. Unlike the mint that we're used to, like peppermint or spearmint, dead nettle is not an aromatic herb, so you won't smell the essential oils of this plant. There aren't any like volatile oils that you'll smell when you smell it or eat it. It is edible. You'll see the little tiny purple flowers in there. They're really characteristic of the mint family too. They have this little kind of almost like orchid shape, or this little like bell shape to them. They look kind of like an open mouth, which is really common of the mint family. So they're one of the early foraging species of bees. So the honeybees who are waking up from their winter hibernation are out in forest looking for food, and they're finding purple dead nettle, and they're finding dandelion, and they're finding bittercress, and so these are one of the early foods for the bees and for humans. So you can eat these raw, although they're fuzzy. They have little tiny hairs all over the leaves, which you can see if you look closely. And that makes their texture a little unpleasant to me, raw. So I put them in smoothies, scramble eggs with them, put them in soup. We made a really awesome soup here the other night with lots of garlic and onions and beans and dead nettles and stinging nettles and bittercress. Let's see what else is around. Well, right here next to my patch of dead nettles, I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see. We have a patch of hostas coming up. You can see the little hosta spears coming up out of the ground. What a lot of folks don't realize is hostas are edible, especially in this early growth time. The hostas are the baby hostas, or the little hosta spears that are coming up. They are like asparagus. You can cook them like young asparagus. So steam them, saute them in butter or oil or ghee, and they are edible as well. What else do we have right here? We have some hairy bittercress, Cardamine hirsuta. Let me introduce you to her. I'm going to turn my camera around again. And as you can see, none of these plants are cultivated. They're just growing in my yard. But this is hairy bittercress. I have a really big patch of it out front, but you'll see these sort of pinnate leaflets on the leaf. They will grow in the circular, what's called a basal rosette, like a circular structure, and then the little white flowers come up out of the top. It's another early spring green that you'll find growing all over the place. It is also edible. It's called bittercress, but it's not super bitter. It's more pungent and peppery, like garlic mustard. So another spring green that we can eat in our yards. Yeah, so we're just gonna take a weed walk. Let's see what else is growing. Oh, here's a really lovely patch of nettles that I'll show you by my air conditioning unit. That's a purple dead nettle, devouring green monster. And it's here next to, we've got some white clover growing here. We've got some bittercress, a little patch of dandelion here. So dandelion, if you look at the leaves, they look kind of like teeth, like serrated teeth. So dandelion is dent de leon, or teeth of the lion. So when you see the serrated leaves of the dandelion, they're named for the teeth of the lion, which I think is pretty awesome. Back here we have malva, these circular lily pad kind of leaves. Malva is marshmallow, or common marshmallow. So these leaves are demulcent. The roots are also demulcent, which means like moistening and slippery. So they are also edible. Almost every plant in this area is edible. We have some wild strawberries growing back here. Just the leaves so far. We'll have the little red berries later in the season. Yeah. Want to see what else is around. Oh, here's some garlic mustard. We can't talk about spring greens. Garlic mustard. Here we go. These leaves are so tender and soft right now. Oh my gosh. And delicious. Again, they're a little bit peppery, but really, really yummy. And as the season goes on, they'll get tall with white flowers. Yeah. My chickens are coming to say hi. But yeah, that's probably enough of an introduction to spring greens. Oh, okay, one more. Everybody wants to say hi. This spring green is spring onions, and they are just delicious. Sort of like chives. You can cut the tops and chop them like chives, or you can pull them up. Let's see if I can get one here. Oh, it came off at the stem, but if you pull, my soil is really tight here. But if you have loose soil or a digging implement, you can dig them up, and they have little onion bulbs under the ground too, just like an onion. Pretty awesome. Yeah. I could probably go on and do this for a while, but so yeah, get outside and see what's growing. See what's growing in your yard, and there's a really great Facebook group called the Plant Identification Group. I can link it in the comments, where if you come across a plant and you don't know what it is and you need some help figuring it out, there are people in there who will help you figure out what you're looking at. There are also some apps you can use. I use an app called Picture This. It's not perfect or even close to perfect. It gives me the wrong identification sometimes, but if you've got it kind of narrowed down and you're thinking you know what species it is, it can help you be more sure, or it can help you narrow down so you can check between a few species. So that can be helpful too. But yeah, so that's our plant walk for this morning. I hope that you're all feeling, supported and calm, and like you have resources available to you. We're going to continue to do this every day in the group. So please, check in here. If you're feeling like you need more support, reach out for it. There are so many of us in this community who are we have different skills. We have a lot of different skills represented in this community. So hopefully we can work together and support one another in ways that are really deeply nourishing for all of us. So yeah, check back tomorrow. I'm not remembering off the top of my head who's doing the video tomorrow, but we'll be in here again at 11:11. And in the meantime, there's a lot of wonderful opportunities that are posted in the group, ways for you to get supported to continue your practice while we're stuck at home. So be well, everybody.